Most people said they could come, right?
That's what I thought.
All right.
Everybody said they were coming. We have a full boat. Um, Tom S. emailed just like a few minutes ago. He said, it looks like we have everybody, but just, he didn't have to come, he wouldn't, but I asked if he could just show up to make sure, because you never know what happens last minute.
Okay. Well, we can wait another minute and then, because we're at quorum now, I think.
Yeah. Both you and I sent Martin the link, so he should be all set.
Okay, well, why don't we start?
Sure.
So that's okay. So we'll open up the September 9th, 2024 meeting of the Madison Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency. Currently, we have Lee Schumacher, Anna Loss, Joe Boudreau, Kayla Freidenberg, town staff, and all our participants. So Maria Patello's here. And we have pending application, but we have the timber harvest to add to the agenda. Can we just add that after Liberty Street? Or how should we?
It could be a receipt, and you can make your decision. Yeah, it could be
Okay.
either, yeah.
All right, so do we need to formally add that?
Well, we can.
Yeah, I think we have to vote to amend the agenda.
Yeah,
Right.
I think, yeah, so I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add the duty timber harvest application to the receipt section.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No abstaining? Okay, unanimous, so we'll add that there. Okay, so our first agenda item is 24-36, 21 Liberty Street. This is for regulated activity permit for construction of additions, installation of pool, patio, and associated site improvements within 100 feet of wetland review area. I know many of us walked the site, or at least saw it from the street. It was staked out by the applicants. And I guess, hello, Martin. So we can add Martin Brogy to the participants, agency member. And so we'll welcome the applicant or the applicant's representative to briefly discuss the application, and then we can discuss it as well. So, Mr. Harkin, did you want to speak on behalf of that?
Can you guys see me and hear me?
We can
Hear you.
hear you.
Yeah, I wasn't invited as a participant, so
How about now?
there it is.
Thank you, babe. No? We do it.
See, he started off snarky. See what happens?
All right.
We know what he looks like. It's okay.
All right, can everybody see me now?
Yes.
There's your mug. Okay.
Perfect. Maria put me as a panelist, so I'm good now. Good evening, everybody. For the record, my name is Michael Harkin. I'm a professional engineer and principal of Harkin Engineering, located at 78 Wolf Hollow Lane in the town of Killingworth, Connecticut. Again, here tonight on behalf of the Van Sices for their project at 21 Liberty Street in your town of Madison, Connecticut. Maria, do you want me to share my screen, or do you want to pop the
I
drawing?
would absolutely love it. If you could, if you're not, I can.
All right, give me 1 second. Share screen. All right, give me 1 second to pop it up. All right. I know it's loading because it's giving me that crazy little squiggly thing. Give it a sec. 15%, 20%, 25.
Was there anybody that did not walk it? Did not get out there?
So I did not go because I thought the site plan showed a good proximity, and your 2 photos
Perfect.
were all I needed.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Are you guys seeing the map on your screen?
No,
All right. How about now?
yes.
Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit. Again, so we're at 21 Liberty Street. Just being a little ornery here.
You're gonna make me take over driving.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Now we're all good now. A little slow in the country. So again, we're at 21 Liberty Street. The parcel is comprised of about half an acre, 0.48 acres to be exact. The survey was performed by Gessick and Associates. There is an area of inland wetlands. You can see where my cursor is. That was flagged by Mr. Richard Snarsky. That area is about 3,770 square feet, about 0.1 acres. So a small area of the property, again, is inland wetlands. We have Connecticut Route 1 where my cursor is, and then we have Liberty Street on the west side where my cursor is. There's an existing driveway where my cursor is. Additionally, the septic system is up in front. Here is the existing garage and the 2-bedroom house as you see it. There's a row of arborvitaes for those of you that were on the site walk. That's where my cursor is right there. And you can see the wetlands come up to almost the back, if not the back of those arborvitaes. Now, in this section, in this area, a couple of years ago, there was an application in front of this Wetlands Commission for a remediation to remove invasive species. That was approved and the invasive species removal was done. And then hence we have those large-scale arborvitaes. So the project this time is to build a habitable space addition off the rear of the property, off the rear of the house, I should say. And in order to accompany that, we'll be increasing the impervious area. So we need to take care of that with 2 24-inch concrete galleys on the side of the property line. So you can see the roof leaders will be pumped into those galleys for groundwater recharge and to offset the amount of impervious that we're adding. So the first habitable space addition is towards the rear of the property. And in the front of the property, we have a small area that's currently under roof, but that's going to be made into part of the house. So they're really just enclosing these 2 sides to make it part of the structure. The rear of the property will also have a patio, a proposed swimming pool, and then a small retaining wall that runs along the back of the pool and then comes along the southerly side of the property line. So for upland impacts, you can see this dark line right here. That is the upland review area limit line. So 90% of the parcel is within the upland review area. The only area that isn't is towards the west and adjacent to the westerly property line. So almost anything on the site will require the inland wetlands to review the project. Hence, as you can see, building in the back area next to the wetlands and in the front area, we are within your per diem. So total upland disturbance is around 3,496 square feet. We're proposing 36 cubic yards of fill. Basically, that small amount taken out for the cross space area in this vicinity will go into create the fill for the patio. So there isn't really a lot of material coming in per se for this project. All the fill will be used from the existing foundation hole dug for that proposed addition. Now, the most difficult part of this project is actually gaining access to the rear of the property. In order to gain access, we have to put in a construction entrance that you see here. There is an existing stone wall that runs the length of the property. So we're going to be going in between the existing property corner and the stone wall to provide access to any trucks or small equipment that needs to get back there to perform the work that you see. As far as erosion controls for the property, the project itself, we have a line of silt fence that wraps around the area that is being worked upon. We have an area of staked hay bales if they're required. We also have that construction entrance that I just talked about. Any disturbance to any vegetated areas during construction will be repaired and replaced, after construction has taken place. So with that being said, that is my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys may have. For those of you on the site walk, you could see that there's basically a wall of do not cross of arborvitaes that are about 20 to 25 feet tall. And the intent is to go nowhere behind this area. The clients don't want to open that up and get the sights and sounds of Boston Post Road. So their basically hard stop point is that silt fence that you see that abuts those arborvitaes, which is all currently grass area now. So I'd be happy to answer any question anybody has. I'll actually leave the drawing up for a few minutes in case you have specific questions regarding the drawing.
Any questions from the agency?
I don't have any questions. I went out and walked the site and understand the plans and think things look pretty good.
So I looked at some Google Map images of other properties along the same strip, and it looked like none of them had an extensive build out in the back. I'm not sure if Mike knows if people have pools out there, but it just seemed like the properties built along this strip of Liberty Street have kind of a lawn buffer between the wetlands and the homes. This just seems like an extreme fill of their entire backyard.
Yep. So the owners don't want a backyard. They have a grass backyard right now. So their basically hard stop is, if you're on the site, you saw this, this row of arborvitaes is, higher than a fence. They're about 20 feet tall and it creates a wall across there. So the owners are looking for the patio and the swimming pool. The front area of the house is meticulously landscaped. If you've been out there and you guys were able to see it, they have people come in. It's all sod in the front. The trees are planted and manicured once a week by a firm that comes out and does it. So their grass area and their private setting is in their front yard, not so much the back yard in this area of this property. Now, I've done plenty of ones throughout Liberty Street. We're actually working on a couple houses down, and most of them have small wetlands pockets in the backyard. Some of them have larger wetlands pockets. It seems that Route 1 displaces all its water onto this section of Liberty Street. So, again, to answer your question, Joe, their area of grass is this large front area.
We're concerned with the back area, and they want to totally go impervious the whole width of the house outward
No,
toward.
the patio will be pervious pavers, not impervious. The only impervious is this section getting added. Hence, we have the roof leader discharge to offset that with the drainage calculations.
Hi, this is Martin. I just wanted to chime in. When I went out there a couple of weeks ago, met with the owners and walked the wetlands. I did, and I don't know if Mr. Snarsky is put together a detailed letter about the delineation or about the impacts, but what I noticed was that along the back of the arborvitaes, although it may have delineated as a wetland based on soil type, there weren't a lot of wetland characteristics back there. It looked like upland soils until you get back near Route 1 where things get much, much wetter. So I think that there aren't a lot of wetland functions and values along behind those arborvitaes. And things get much more wetland-like with standing water and so forth, and wetland vegetation down near the road. And I think that's pretty consistent along the road. So for whatever that's worth, I think there's quite a transition between the functional wetlands and the non-functional wetlands up nearby behind the arborvitaes. So I didn't really see this as a huge impact to wetlands. Let's just say functioning wetlands anyway, which are near the road.
So,
I was out there.
so
Go ahead.
is the function known? Is it just runoff and that's where water sits until it goes away, or?
So, you could see that this actual wetlands, I've had the privilege to work on the parcel across the street, which is also the wetlands where the pond is. So at one point, these two wetlands were connected before Route 1 came through. And you can see the head wall right there that takes and discharges water for both sides. So the water's passing to and fro from either side of Route 1. Because the exact wetlands on the other side is a very, very extreme flat area, just like this one. It's almost like it's trapped in there. And there's pockets throughout Liberty Street, which that does happen. They're not connected. They're actually trapped. A good example is this area on this property is higher, but we're working on a property that's 2 houses down, and they have a big pocket of wetlands. So the wetlands just don't flow. They're virtually trapped, being low points.
Well, right. And I think what you said is exactly correct, though, is that that there would have been a much bigger historically wetland complex down there that has been divvied up by road and development. And so what we are ending up with is these pockets that are kind of remnant of what historically would have been a much larger wetland system.
Yeah, maybe this, back in the 30s, maybe they brought in a bunch of fill and all that's left are these pockets.
Well, yeah, it's hard to say. We'd have
Yeah.
to look at topography, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it could be. I think having done, this commission has actually looked at a number of properties in this area, and there are a lot of wetlands down there. There's
Yeah.
spring creepers that actually call on Seaview Avenue in these little tiny remnant pockets. And that's what we see here. My understanding is that this was delineated quite some time ago.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Correct.
this was delineated 2007 or something.
I believe it was originally, I don't remember when the actual large scale invasive species removal took place.
That was in 2020.
That was, yeah, that was more recent. And was that Rich Snarski's most recent delineation then?
He walked he walked the property. One of the letters in here from 2020 said that he walked the person who did the plantings walked the property with Rich then.
But he didn't provide,
Mm-mm.
yeah, I didn't think so.
No, but they walked the property.
Okay.
Was this property, Mike, in a flood zone?
Good question. I believe it's in an X, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, it's in an X per FEMA map, July 8th, 2013.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Haven't they updated some of those since then?
Yeah, so some are updated, some aren't. So when you go and you look at the certain areas, the ferment maps basically tell you, which one
Okay.
they're looking at.
Okay, well, I mean, I think Joe's point is valid. This is 7 feet off the delineated wetland whenever it was delineated. And that is close, and they are, they're not putting this in the front because that's what they want as functionally their backyard. So they're putting this in the back. The system for capturing the excess roof runoff, is that that's discharging right into the wetland?
No,
Oh.
it's groundwater infiltration, so it's in the
Ground-
ground and it has an emergency overflow, which is the tap cap that comes up to grade. So if it fills up, there's a detail on our plans. Give me 1 second. This detail right here. Give me a sec here. Trying to scroll over for you. Not letting me. This detail right here, it's a 24-inch galley, and then they have a cap that comes up to grade. So if you get let's say you get a torrential downpour and the roof leaders fill up this galley void so quick that it can't infiltrate that water so quickly, what happens is it comes up the top cap and it just spills out to grade.
Okay,
Yep, they're
And
common.
that-
We've been using them for 20, 25 years.
Now, is there a residence to the north?
Yes, yeah.
So
There's a residence here.
it literally could flow to the neighbor's yard.
Nope, the way it's designed with the spot shot elevations, it flows, if it overflows, it flows into the wetlands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, as you know, Joe, we can't put any more water onto somebody else's property than is currently going there, so hence we
Yeah,
have
love-
an underground system and hence we
Yeah.
have it graded, so it spills
Good.
over.
Love to
Most of
hear
the
that.
time it'll get infiltrated, but on those hard rains, that sometimes we see during a big storm event, it may fill up and not be able to, percolate that quickly.
Perfect. Yep.
I have a question about this arborvitae that are, that are functioning essentially as, a border.
Screen.
Well, a screen, a border, a physical barrier between the backyard and, the 7 feet to the wetland. So during construction, is it anticipated, you're building pretty close to that? And is there any sense that you might damage root systems or otherwise damage that kind of living fence?
So if the arborvitaes were put into the ground directly, I would be worried about that. But it was almost like they had a mound of dirt brought in and then planted the bowls inside the dirt. So they're actually originally raised up. The main root mass is actually raised up in its own little berm per se. The roots technically for an arborvitae will go down and not spread out. So the arborvitae berm is about, I don't know, 18 inches, 2 feet in the air already. So we're really not worried about the, severing of any root mass in there. The closest point of physical construction is about, 3 feet, 4 feet to those arborvitaes, which is a small wall. The majority of the work is actually, it's not an in-ground swimming pool per se. It's actually an above-ground swimming pool with a patio around it. So we're not really digging into the ground so much for the pool.
What is it, a couple of feet in?
Yeah, if that, it's probably about 2 feet in, because remember, right now, there's a deck back there that they step off to a bunch of stairs to get to the grass area that's back here. Remember, this whole area is sod. It's all sodded right now. So as far as any, disturbance to the arborvitae, no, we don't see any that's gonna, transpire due to this construction.
I did see, sorry,
No, go ahead. I was gonna ask for questions.
I did see on the plan, there's an exposed for PVC pipe. Is that discharging anything or is it just exposed piping?
No, correctly. Right now, it's discharging water into the wetlands. I think it's from the sub pump, honestly. They do have a crawl space there, and I believe there's a sub pump. When I was out there, I wasn't able to see. I saw the pipe, but I wasn't able to see any, any water flowing out of it per se.
Okay.
And I've had multiple trips on the site, but I do believe it's probably sump pump related.
Okay,
And honestly, if it's not sub pump related, it could be this roof leader right here, the corner of the existing structure discharging in there.
mhm. And I don't think I saw a delineation report or memo on this. Is there any thoughts or feedback on that edge of water being a vernal pool at all?
No, good question. It's been delineated so many times and looked at by this commission so many times. I haven't seen anything on it being a vernal pool, nor would I expect it to be a vernal pool. When you walk through there and take a look at it, the water, if any, is flowing through this pipe system of the state highway. It's moist, but I don't see any water collection in there, if at all any.
So is edge of water kind of not the right annotation for that?
Yeah, it's not really the right annotation. That's the surveyor calling it out. It's virtually dry. It's moist in the area that Martin was talking about. In here, it's severely dry. It almost looks like an upland area, but by soil type, it is a wetland. The area directly adjacent to the culvert outlet is where it gets moist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
so that's what we were saying, Anna. I don't think it's been delineated, like officially delineated in a while. It was walked by Rich Snarsky in 2020 because they wanted to remove these invasives. I don't think there was a site walk at the time because that was like the height of COVID. And so I don't, and I only looked at this site from the street because I was out of town. So I don't know. But Martin, were you gonna say something? Because you actually walked it more, it sounds like. Or Joe, someone was gonna say something.
Oh, I was simply going to ask Mike if the pool is proposed as a saltwater pool or a chlorine pool, but I know the last few summers we have a pool and we've had to pump it out due to overflow at least 3 times a summer. Where are they going to pump the pool out? I'm going to guess
So where
that
my
wetlands.
No, my office does about 400 pools a year throughout the state, and we always put this nice little note on here with all the approvals. In the event the swimming pool will require its water to be pumped out, the homeowner shall have a pool water truck for the water disposal. Basically, they pump the pool out into a truck and they take it off. And people say, "Oh, how do you make sure they do that?" It's Believe me, with the pool
Nobody's
companies
doing
that
that.
take care of, yeah, pool companies
Yeah.
that take care of gunite pools, they do that. They're not dumping
Yeah.
it into the wetlands. Nor are they putting it into catch basins, which happens a lot. You may see that
Right.
with vinyl pools, but not with the people that take care of gunite pools. If you tell them
Okay.
specifically to take care of it that way, they enjoy that because it's very, very costly to the homeowner. They get the charge.
Hmm. Okay, that's a good note to have.
Yeah, and we do so many of them, and that question is asked so frequently in almost every project in front of the wetlands and DEP. We do a lot of pools against Long Island Sound, and they require that note on our plans.
So Mike, I have a question. So the pool that's being semi-submerged, and you were saying there's not a lot of fill.
Yes,
So what's coming out for the addition will replace to raise up the area for the semi-submerged pool?
yes,
Okay,
yes. So where my cursor is, this patio area, it has to
Okay.
be brought up about 2.5 feet.
and that'll come from,
That'll come from this area in here, and
Okay.
the about 2 feet that they have to draw down for the pool will all go into this area.
okay,
It's almost like they have to work themselves out for a construction standpoint. They have to come in, put this wall in, start excavating for the pool to put the fill here, excavate for the addition, put the fill in here, and then pour the addition and swimming pool or
Okay.
pool then addition, and then work themselves out.
it's gonna be carefully orchestrated.
It is going to be a work of art. Because if you guys saw the property with the immaculate landscaping there, they don't want that disturbed. So there's going to be a lot of very precise networking between the contractors that are building out there. You know, and a lot of this stuff has to be brought in by hand. You're not gonna get machines back there.
Well, that was my next question. What
Yeah,
type
a
is
lot
it?
of it's,
Large scale, small scale? They're gonna,
no, you're gonna find like a, you know, maybe a Bobcat back there, bringing
Okay.
pallets. It's gonna take a ton of time. You're gonna see a big excavator back there, trying to dig. You'll see a mini excavator spending the time, to dig out that foundation hole.
So I guess one thing that I just, thinking about the living fence we have, it might be helpful if they put, what we do when people are so close to wetlands. So we often ask to have um a fence or wooden posts or something to identify that there's a wetland boundary. And I completely understand that they have this living boundary, but maybe on the other side where they're not going to see it or something, I guess I would be thinking it would be really helpful to explicitly say this is a wetland, like because this development is coming up so close to it, and hopefully none of those trees will die. But just even with that, I still think it's helpful to have some of these posts that just say, every whatever 20-30 feet delineating the
We
wetland.
could put them definitely behind the wetland area. I think the spot more so to put it is where my cursor is. Because you go from a wall of arborvitaes to a row of pine trees, and any place that you can sneak around, you can't sneak in through this area, but you could sneak around through the side here. You know, maybe you put one over in here and then the rest facing back towards Route 1 over here.
Yeah, wherever they are, but even, those trees aren't going to last forever, right? And they could get damaged anyway. So any kind of behind, it's fine to have it behind on the wetland side, but I think there should be
Yeah.
some delineation, some explicit delineation, just because it's going practically from upland, they're going to have this pool, they're going to have these trees, and then it's going to be, delineated wetland. So there should be something saying delineated wetland, and so there's no accidental lawn clippings or whatever. And I get that currently that's not likely, but it'll just be helpful to have that for any future.
the next owner?
Yeah, I get it. The house can
So-
get sold, exactly. So yeah, I believe that's something that my clients wouldn't have a problem with if you wanted to make that part of the condition of approval, is that wetlands placards be put up every 25 feet or so across the back edge of the arborvitaes.
Yeah. Okay, so I see we lost Martin, but I believe we still have 4 of us. So that's quorum.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're 6 total. So
Yep. Do you guys want me to stop sharing my screen now? Is everybody?
yeah, did everybody see what they needed to see?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so this is so we can definitely act on this tonight if there aren't any other questions. Maria has very kindly drafted a staff memo for us that highlights well, here. I will share my screen if I can do that.
I could do it if you,
Oh, I have it. Okay, so people can see this. All right, so we have just, kind of setting out what the project is. So we have, this is draft, because I will be proposing a condition, an additional condition, at least. So, our current is, our standard language about the agent's agent and keeping everything stabilized. I guess the other thing that I will put out there to the agency is that we have in some of our more recent applications been like Race Hill and some of the other ones, been asking people to go out and check those soil, those erosion and sedimentation control measures after significant, 1 inch plus storms. And I know we also had, what was our most recent one? There was another one, that, where oh, I know, it was, Stone Lane, Stone Road, the one off Neck Road, where some of the fencing had kind of collapsed. So I guess I would suggest that we also, if there's a significant storm, that we just make sure people are checking those ENS measures.
Yes,
Because those get,
that was I think it was Neck Road, yeah,
yeah,
where,
it was Neck Road that,
yeah,
and
which
where
is
we
why they
actually
ended
had-
up putting the stone wall up because of yeah,
Right,
it almost
right.
topped over, yeah.
right. And there was there've been a few of those, just because, we're getting some of these extreme weather events. Um,
I agree.
so I'll make a motion, and I'll include these. So I'll make a motion that we approve application 24-36, 21 Liberty Street with, these two, resolutions, that the agency's agent be notified 48 hours, at least 48 hours prior to commencement of any regulated activity. And two, that at all times during site work and until soil areas are stabilized, the applicant shall install and maintain erosion and sediment control measures, et cetera, as spelled out here. I will also add that, and maybe Maria, you can help as we go through this, but that after, I think it's an inch, is it or after a significant, go ahead. Well, no, I'm in the
It's-
middle. Is it
It's 1 inch.
1 inch?
1
So
inch. We do it anyways at 1 inch.
Yeah.
All the projects in our office, we go out anyways to check them.
I was
But
like, and I do too. after-
yeah, the standard is 1 inch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So after
Yeah.
1 inch, rain event, that the site be checked to make sure the ENS control measures are stable and still in the proper position. And then the fourth would be to put up, wetland placards every 25 feet, behind the current row of arborvitae to delineate, the wetland. So that would be my motion.
What was number 4? You wanted how much?
The-
How many
I
placards?
said 25 placards every
25
25 feet.
Yep.
Does
The only
anybody,
one that I think,
or do you
only-
want a second and then,
okay. Second,
okay, and then go ahead and amend or revise?
well, the only question I have, and I believe, Mike, that during construction, none of those arborvitae's in the back will be damaged. But I'm wondering whether or not we should make that a condition that the applicant replace any of the arborvitae's that are damaged and make that barrier less effective, because it seemed to me that that barrier would be an effective way of minimizing disturbance in the wetland, but obviously it's only as good if all those last through the construction.
Yeah, we don't have a problem with that at all.
Okay, so I think, so that's a great amendment, because I was thinking, but that's why I was really thinking about those, because because this is so close, it is the best way to kind of also buffer, this is kind of our essential vegetated buffer in a sense, with those trees. Okay, so the fifth requirement would be that if any of these arborvitae are damaged, to replace them. I don't think in kind is quite fair. They're giant, but a significant, as big as they can to help keep that kind of living vegetated buffer going. Other comments or, additions for our motion and resolution?
No.
So, okay. All in favor of our, motion as amended? Raise your hand, say
Aye.
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 Is Joe
Any
still on?
abstaining? You're any opposed?
I'm gonna vote, I think in its totality, I have to vote against it.
Okay,
I could do a house addition, no pool, but that pool's getting to me. So
okay.
I'm gonna
Do-
vote no as they
But-
propose it.
Okay, you can do that, but we only have 4 people.
Well, but it's,
But
we have
so 3 to
3.
1, it wins. So they got approved. It's not like it's the ZBA where they need
Okay.
4.
Okay,
So,
okay. I
Yep.
got nervous.
no,
I had
3 to
full,
1,
I had full
it's
faith.
approved.
Okay. And duly noted, Joe. I mean, I can appreciate your comments.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
So, yes, so hopefully your clients will be okay with the conditions, the additional conditions that we've put on this. It is a tight space, and
Yeah.
hopefully that will, there will be a lot of care taken in the construction process.
Yep, we'll all be involved.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night. Great seeing everybody again.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, so now,
so yeah. So at least, sorry, Kia, it sounds like, remember how Mike Ott wasn't the engineer for the Race Hill project after it was approved? So it sounds like Mike will be on site. The way I heard him.
okay, well, regardless, we've got, I mean, we didn't, all we said is that someone, it has to be checked. We didn't
Yeah.
luckily specify who, but someone has to
Yeah,
be
Mike,
checked.
it
after
sounded like
every-
Mike was gonna be on site.
Yeah,
So
Um,
there's that.
yeah, and I imagine, and I think that'll be important because and it's great that those arborvitae are in a berm, but I
Yeah.
imagine, thank you, Lee, if that was your suggestion, I imagine they may lose some of
You
those.
thought of it, I just made them suggestion as far as the condition, but good.
Yeah, no, I think that's good, and hopefully they'll be careful. So that was all of our actions currently.
Excellent.
So we have 2 receipts from Stony Lane. So hopefully you guys got a chance. This is the Barberry Hill property where they're building those houses in the back. But these are just for receipt. So
Yes.
right, so as we do with our applications for receipt, we have walked this property. If people felt the need, we could do a site walk, or you could go out. I think you can see some of these from Stony Lane.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
You can see the property right from Stony Lane, but these
Yep.
are 2 of the houses that need to come back before us.
My question, didn't we have a third-party engineer look at this properly?
Yes, but
When it
that
was-
was when it was a much bigger, much bigger project. And then they cut it in half and then in half again. So there was a third party review, but that particular application was withdrawn because it was supposed to be like 20 something houses, and then it went down to 10 houses or something like that, like a dozen houses. Now I think it's only 6. So we still have that third party
Are-
review, but it's not.
Are the lots the same did they reconfigure the lots as well on the property? Do you remember?
Well, they cut them, they eliminated more than half of them.
Okay, so
And-
these lots wouldn't be these lots wouldn't be shown on that original submission, I guess, right? Is that?
On the very original one, no, it's
Well, I mean,
the
the one that our engineer looked at. I'm just wondering if there's any
third part. I think
information.
when they looked at it, it was when it was supposed to be like 20 something lots.
Okay, so
But-
go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but they did not re-review because it was not a significant activity any longer. After it became just 6 lots, it became an open space conservation.
Okay. I was just curious if there's any information in that's relevant to these applications. It doesn't sound like there is what I'm hearing.
I don't know if I can say that, but the lots are not really near most of that area anymore.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
I think it might be helpful. I mean, we did get that third party. I think it would be helpful to review it and maybe
Yeah,
compare.
I think it became part of the record-ish. I didn't see it in the open space when it was, that application. But it's still relevant. I mean, it's still, it's just most of that is the open space now, I believe.
Yeah, so it would be helpful, it would be it could be helpful to see what they have eliminated and how much these two lots kind of go into the review area and what they're impacting, given what we now, what we know from that. Um, so, if, I mean, we can schedule a site walk or people can drive by. And I guess the other thing we usually determine if it's a significant activity, I don't believe it is,
Yeah,
given,
it didn't look like it to me.
Yeah. Given that we've already gone through that and they've ramped it down so much.
And I don't think there's direct wetland impacts, right?
Say that again, Anna?
I don't think there's direct wetland impacts, right?
No, so one of the properties I don't even think has wetland, they're all up in the review area. One of the properties doesn't have wetlands even on it. I don't think either of them do. I think it's all in review.
Yeah, I think it's all review.
Okay.
It's all in the review area. I did want to make a note that lot number 4, which is application number 2437. The applicant is Jonathan Howey. That just as of today went through an engineer change. So that by the time you hear it, we'll have a revised application with a new engineer, and a new engineer plan was submitted today. I'm not sure if Michelle got to upload it or not. It was submitted
Yeah, I think.
late this afternoon. So it'll be not that it's still the same applicant, same lot, but I didn't know if anybody, looked at it at all prior to the change.
Okay. Okay, so, I think I'll probably drive by and just take a look and refresh.
Yeah, you could, it's very overgrown. I mean, it's all in its natural state. Nothing's been cleared or anything, so.
I didn't see I can drive by too, but I didn't see a map that showed where the lots were on Stony Lane. I know where Stony Lane is, and I know where we walked the first time, but I didn't see I may have missed it. I didn't see a overall site map where I could tell.
Hold on a second, you mean,
Yeah, you're right. It's not what's submitted
those are the individual lots.
with the individual lot, so it's not clear how they're
How far down Stony Lane I have to drive to
right,
look at.
or how they are all together, right? Because it is a subdivision, guess.
It's all-
It's an open space. Huh,
Like
Oh,
that.
Where was that?
Mhm.
Did I miss it?
This is in the open space conservation file. This
Yes,
is the individual these now you're seeing applications for the individual lots.
so we don't,
This-
so we don't, this wasn't with these.
No.
Is it
this-
inappropriate to add it to the documents for these?
We can, if so you can have it for reference, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be helpful.
And which lot, those don't have.
This is, you're going to 3 and 4 have submitted.
Oh, lot 3 and 4, okay.
But however, again, you'll note that there's going to be some changes, and they are going back to planning and zoning prior to the October meeting, because they have changed some of the driveways. They have resituated some of the houses and changed, like this is shared and this is shared, and I think now they're all having separate driveways.
Okay.
I know
but
this one, definitely.
The lot delineation is all gonna stay the same.
The lot delineation is going to stay, yes, it's
Okay.
just the house location and driveways may not.
Got it. Okay, thanks. That would be helpful to me if you could add it to the files.
Okay, okay.
And I guess we'll just have to be aware that what we receive tonight is undoubtedly
Going to change.
gonna change.
Okay, no site visit, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, so that looks pretty straightforward. Okay, so those are received. And then as we realized this afternoon, we have another receipt for timber harvest up.
Yes,
Looks like it's near Rockland area or up
it's up in the heavens somewhere.
north Jefferson area.
I don't know if this iPhone that's on may be the harvester. Let me see if I can see the number. Peter Marlowe. I can ask. Because I can't tell a phone number. But in any event, I did send the file, what we did receive. They harvested about 20 years ago, and it's time to do it again. They will do a selective foresting, and this is also one of those properties where it borders on Guilford, and so there's also a pending application in Guilford. Guilford had a wetland crossing, as far as I know. So their application is a little more extensive. Let me see if this is Peter. I'm not sure if this is you. If it is, can you unmute? Or I could just keep talking. This is essentially the parcel. This is essentially the parcel of land where it's going to be, the selective harvesting will be done. This is the Guilford side, and they're doing a whole thing over here. They're going to be staging at the end of Isabel, because apparently the owner of this property also owns either one of these houses, I'm not sure. And they will be going up through here, back here. He's called out selective harvesting of 14-inch at chest height trees, but not much more than that outside of what he submitted.
Yeah, it
And-
was.
And to get up there, you have to go up 79 and then Dorset Lane. It's up in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Off of
Okay.
Devonshire. Yep.
Yep.
And just luckily that where this is a cul-de-sac at the end here, that they're going to be coming in and
Yep.
out to do the Madison side.
Mhm.
And they're with it. I think it said they're staying 50 feet away from
He said
wetland.
at the closest there'll be 50 feet off the wetland. Just take this over here. Just make this smaller.
And this isn't one of these as of right.
As of right. Yep. This is the one he submitted, but it was so dark. You can
Yeah,
see.
it was really hard to.
So I ended up giving him, I found a survey today.
Okay,
He added that, and those will be the the little skid roads.
okay, that's what those are.
Yeah.
And
And
is it purple?
this is the this is the pocket of wetland soil.
Okay, and so they're on the edge.
Yeah.
And-
But my only concern, not that the activity is concerning, it's just that we're amending the agenda to put it on today. I think we should at least keep it on until next month.
It came in Friday, so it's
Correct.
received. We did not amend the actual online agenda, so it was received on Friday.
Mhm.
So they have a right to be received.
Oh, yeah, receiving is okay. I don't think we should feel pressured to vote on it tonight.
You don't have to, if you don't
Okay.
want to. It's a
Just-
matter of making them wait a month to say. Yeah.
Well, it is.
Because they're
on them.
they're being
They
heard,
waited
like
so
I said,
long.
they're being heard in Guilford on Wednesday. And that is more significant because they have a wetland crossing in Guilford.
Yep.
So,
But
That's your
it's on
call.
them. They waited. So I think we should at least sit on it and look at it for until the next meeting.
Well, it would have been helpful to, there wasn't a whole lot of information. It would have been helpful to hear from them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is that. Oh, wait, hold on. Here he is. This is him. He's on by phone. He's not. Hi, Peter.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me now?
There you are.
All right, sorry about that.
It's all right.
No, I kind of went in and out because, your meeting got kind of long, so sorry about that.
This is a short one.
I know, this is like,
Nothing.
gosh,
Two in
I
a-
thought we were
two
doing
in a
great.
row.
I know, I'm like,
All right, well, that's good.
Okay,
I've
over here.
been to too many of these meetings, but go.
No, sorry about that. I'm free to open or answer any questions.
all right, so questions? I guess I have a question. So, are these? I haven't obviously been up there. Are these roads ones that you are kind of expanding, or that already exist, or exist partially, and you're, making them bigger?
You mean the skid trails?
Yeah.
The ones that I marked out? Yeah, we logged that property probably 19 years ago. So they're just trails. I mean, they've, overgrown with weeds and brush and that sort of thing. And we're going to stick to the same trails we did, 19 years ago. So really nothing's going to change. So, that's about it. They're not roads. They're just trails. I mean, it's a timber harvest. We're just going to thin the woods. We're not, putting anything into the wetlands or anything like that. All the brush is going to be slashed down below 4 feet. We're going to take the main stem of the firewood out. And that's about it. On any hillsides, we're going to put water bars in, in case of heavy rain to divert any kind of water that flow. We're just going to, do best management practices like we've been doing for the past 43 years. So we've been in business. So, this is something we do all the time.
Would you call this silviculture management?
Well, I really can't say that. I mean, it's a timber harvest. The landowner hired us, to harvest their timber so they can get, gain income, and I don't know what they're going to do, but that's pretty much what it is. I'm not a licensed forester, so I can't really say it's silvicultural.
Okay. Because if it was silviculture management, then I would be backpedaling, and then it's non-regulated on our end, and it could be sent away
Well, it's an
tonight to
as
go
of
for.
right. It's an as of right. It's like harvesting a crop. I mean, a farmer doesn't have to pull a wetlands permit if they're going to harvest hay within, upland review area. I mean, it's, there's state mandates, pretty much that, it's an as of right. You can't tell a landowner they cannot harvest their timber. They have the right to do that.
Right. So what, our job is just to understand if there's any inland wetland impacts. And it sounds like
No,
you're using
I
the
understand that, but I mean, I told you we're going to stay 50 feet away from the wetlands. I mean, we're in the upland review area, but there's best management practice that we do. So, there's not going to be, if you get a heavy rain, the mud flow is not going to flow into a vernal area or a wet area, that sort of thing,
Thanks, Peter.
Okay, so
All right, thank you.
I Googled silviculture, and it just says a planned series of treatments for tending, harvesting, and reestablishing a stand of trees. So if this is a harvesting, then I would then backpedal and just say, probably we don't have to sit on it because it is non-regulated. So if it falls under silviculture, I'm gonna guess we could just agree that we don't have to approve anything
You do
right.
have
because
to
it's
deem it.
non-regulated.
Right, yeah, so this did come in, this is coming in as an as of right, and silviculture is, yes, broadly the practice of managing forests and harvesting. And that's exactly what this is, and it's 50 feet away, which is much better than our previous application.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
So gonna be, that's big plus right there. So, right, and so, unless there are any objections, I think it's great. They're staying 50 feet away. They're using previously used skid trails. They're using best management practices for these harvest techniques. Does anybody have any other comments or other suggestions? It's
Nope.
not, yeah, so I think we've had some where there's been wetland crossings and they've been a little more involved, and this one is much more straightforward. So Maria, do we have to vote on this, or
Yep.
since
To
it's
deem it, yeah, that you agree that it's a,
as of right? Okay.
So I'll make a motion that this proposed activity at the off of Devonshire Lane for the proposed harvesting of trees and thinning out the woodlands for future growth is a silviculture management activity that is deemed by the state of Connecticut a non-regulated activity.
beautiful.
I'll second it.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Hi.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstaining? Unanimously approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
And
Peter.
I hope it goes
All right,
well.
well, thank you very much for your consideration, your time. Hope you have a good evening.
You
Thank
too.
you.
I'm very excited. I said that seemed like long. All right, so we are quickly moving on. Quickly
You're
moving
gonna
on. to
beat
section
beat me from last month.
Gonna try. But it's not
Wait, I
contest.
just have a question. So on Stony Lane, you'll, if anybody wants, they're gonna just drive by on their own, right?
Yeah, there's no
Yes.
phone.
And I'm gonna, yeah, I'll add that plan so you can reference. Okay.
It would be helpful to have that so we can see the entirety of the project, since it
Right,
is
okay.
the entire project.
So you
Um,
almost have to put it in both folders, though, probably.
Right, okay, yep.
all right, section 13. So we had somebody taking out trees.
Yeah.
A tulip, beech, and maple.
Yeah, they're the beech tree disease.
Very sad.
It was very sad. I met with this woman on her property, her and her husband. She's the one that she had the environmental degree. She's
Oh.
yeah, I was trying to recruit her. She was, yeah, very nice. And they went back and forth for a year. They had the tree guy come out last year and they were eyeing it, and they checked up and they said they have to go. And one of the trees, I think it was the large maple. The tulip was way, it was almost out of the wetland review area. Maple was being like practically held up by the beech trees.
Oh.
So it was one of those things where once the beech trees went,
Yeah,
it was gonna be weakened. So that was actually pretty easy, but I went out there quite a while ago. And that's it. That was it for section 13. So
so now we have enforcement. So we have 129 Green Hill Road.
yeah.
And that's tabled until 2025 because, go ahead, you can update.
Yeah, she did her update. They have, I hope everybody got to read her letter. She did very good. She did a nice little report, and they had a lot of the plants are ordered. They're coming in over this week and next week. They'll do their planting, and then they'll have I think it was All Habitat. I think All Habitat will come back out in the spring to see how the plantings are taking, and then anything that's been resprouting, and depending on what happens there, they may adjust the plan because they don't want to create overcrowding.
Okay.
So I will probably take a pop out there maybe at the end of the month and just see what's been planted, and then we'll see her in the spring.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And then our second is 58 Railroad Ave. There was some clearing and vegetation and deposition of materials within the 100-foot review, and it sounds like Maria, you and Aaron are.
Yes, so we do have the homeowner and the tenants on the call if we need to want to hear from them. Which I'll put them on so they can just kind of tell you what happened. But this property came to us a couple of months ago as a blight matter, and the building official had been out. Myself as the zoning official, and the building official and the health director are all members of the blight committee, which is a town ordinance. And he had been out in the property to ask them to make some remediation of some things that were outdoors. And as a result of that, they inadvertently tried to create they had a fallen tree. That was one thing. We also had gotten a call about cutting of trees, and we went out there in the wetlands, and that's when Aaron and I went out there, and there was none. There was no trees that were cut. There was a tree that had fallen, and they had cut it up. But as a result of trying to remediate some of the blight, they inadvertently cleared some vegetation, and there's some created some ruts in the upland area. So we gave them, if you saw, hopefully, the letter giving them some directives what to do. But I would like to, if you'd like, I can let the owner speak if anybody has any questions. This is their opportunity to speak and tell you if they feel that this enforcement is incorrect.
Okay, but it sounds like you had a deadline of today to, go ahead.
Yes, and Sarah, if she's on the phone, hold on, allow Candace to talk. She's the owner. And Sarah, you emailed me. I emailed you back. Oh, there's the photos. There they had put up the silt fence today. We gave them, and she sent me the photos.
Okay,
That's why I said don't flood. That's why I said.
Okay.
so that, right, so the two things you had were to have the silt fence to stabilize the loose soils,
Yes.
and to remove the smaller limbs and brush piles by,
Smaller limbs and brush piles weren't today, I don't believe.
no, that's by October 4th.
Yes.
And to reseed and hand rake ruts out. Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, so it sounds like the silt fence went in today. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, I do have. I don't know if well, it's in an email if I can download by time I.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
there questions from the agency members about this?
Anybody has any questions for the homeowner or?
Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah,
Yep.
go ahead. Joe, did you have something?
Oh, no, I agreed with Lee.
Okay.
That was a yep.
Okay, it looks like, I don't think we have, and of course, this is, you can see, if you've driven by Railroad Avenue, you can see there's been some activity. But it sounds
Hi.
like this has been,
Oh.
Oh, hi, Candace.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, okay. Keep talking. I really don't have any question. I know what needs to be done, and
This is
Okay.
Candace Garrett. She's the homeowner.
okay. Well, yes, thank you for responding and being, and taking guidance from town staff. It sounds like it sounds like you all have had a good conversation with Maria and Aaron, and that there's a path forward to kind of fix what
Yeah.
happened. So I think, it sounds like the silt fence got fixed today, and there's the second part of removing the brush and
Mhm.
small pieces, and then grading it and maybe reseeding it, and that's not and just letting it grow back. But the work that
That's
should be
like grass seed, correct?
I think so.
By
Is that
seeding. Do you
Yeah.
mean
Yeah,
Yes.
not,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So just to stabilize the area with grass seed, and
Okay,
that's by October 4th,
okay.
while we still have growing conditions.
Yeah, yes.
So I think it sounds like we are all set on the agency side.
Yeah, so you can make a motion to, you know, amend and correct it or amend and uphold it, and then we can go from there.
I
Okay.
don't think it needs to be amended.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you could just make a motion to uphold the, you know, the corrective action as it stands.
I make a motion that we uphold the corrective action on, what is it? 58 Railroad Avenue? Is that the
Yep.
one?
Yes.
I'll second. All right. Any other comments? No. All right. All in favor of
Yeah.
this motion? Raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right,
So
thanks.
thank you very much, and thank you for
Thank-
tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, I'm not gonna beat you, Joe. It's very sad. I think you were like 8-12,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a contest, so it's fine. It's fine.
no, I thought we were way ahead of that.
No, it's fine.
No.
Why
Okay.
do I feel like Joe's meeting was 45 minutes? Was it longer than that? I felt like it was short.
It was definitely an hour and like 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no. So I lost. The
But you're getting better. You got winded.
Well, if only
Out of-
you had
out
that
of
kind of
practice.
control. But anyway,
I'm like, if it were up to me.
yes.
All right. So correspondence, Deep has again told us that they've treated a pond at 144 Neck Road.
I've never seen so many of these. Now
Yep.
it's like we have one or two every month.
Yep.
Oh, they come in a cluster.
Yep. Yep. So that's all fine. Gonna breathe. Approval of minutes. So I wasn't there, but I read through the minutes and it looked like it was comprehensive. Did anybody?
I didn't see any problems with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They look good.
I think we need to do these separately because there's different people who are on the different
Yes,
ones.
and we finally have the two people that were on the June 13th meeting here at one time.
I was like, why are we doing? And then I looked and I was like, oh, of course. Okay. So all in favor of approving the minutes, the regular meeting minutes from August 5th, 2024, raise your hand, say aye.
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 All right. I'm gonna abstain. So we have 3 ayes and 1 abstention. I wasn't there, but I thought they looked good. All right. So the walk meeting minutes from June 13th. I think that's how many of us?
I was not there.
You were
That was
not.
just you and Lee.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. So I've read through them probably a couple of times. Did you have any comments?
No, they look good to me.
All right. All in favor of approving the walk meeting minutes from June 13th, 2024? Raise your hand, say aye. Abstaining? You guys
I don't know
abstaining?
if you can approve with 3. With 2. I think you need at least 3.
There was only 2 on the walk, so it wasn't
There's
right.
only 2 on the walk.
Yeah.
So you guys can
Okay.
abstain.
There
And
you
we'll still
go.
have a
Wasn't
board
it-
here.
I was just gonna not put them on the next agenda after this, so.
Yeah.
No, don't
All right.
listen to me. 2,
Okay. So
2 to
we've got
nothing.
2, 4, and 2 abstaining, which is great. Remarks. Do we have, it's more of a question. Do we know, so we'll have Stony Lane. Is there anything else? We don't have anything else. Is that all? I don't know.
Well, we'll have if we have receipts, no, the only ones to be heard, yes, would be the 2 for Stony Lane. Oh, I'm lying to you. I was gonna say there'd be 1 more for Stony Lane, but it was one of the ones that did not have to come back to you. Because I think they were hoping to do 3, and I think only 2, 3, and 4 need to come to you or something along those lines.
Okay, but we only received 2 tonight, and we
Yeah.
received the timber harvest, and we got rid of that.
Yes.
So,
And that's it.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm knocking wood and thinking good thoughts about not very many applications.
Yeah.
We deserve
Yeah,
it. We
I mean, you'll have new
long
receipts, I'm
break.
sure you'll have new receipts, but we'll only have to hear those two, and now they'll be heard, same development, two different engineers will be
Okay.
present, so,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
So do you have any comments or in the wetlands agent?
No, I'm counting down till I get on a plane on Friday, so.
I know, I was gonna say, you're out of here.
Yes,
Good for you.
been a year since I've been anywhere, besides this chair.
Well, that's good. You get to go off and have fun and.
Yeah.
hold
Um,
fun at you.
yeah, and that's it. And if anybody has any questions after, the walk, or if they go by and have questions about, or want me to email them a site plan or something, or if they go on the walk for
Okay,
Stony.
you mean for Stony Lane?
Yeah, for Stony.
Okay, yeah, I think if we just get that, I mean, if you can do the site plan for all 6 houses that you showed us tonight,
Okay,
add that, then that would be helpful. I think we'll be all set.
okay, okay.
All right, who wants to?
I move we adjourn tonight's meeting.
I second.
All right. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay,
Aye.
we're gonna
Aye.
adjourn at 8:16.
All right.
Yes, nicely done, people.
Thank you.
Yay!
I agree.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Next month.